what it looks like. It's just a long name. Let me just make sure I have all of them right when I give it to you. I really like Dodson. I watched. He was at Georgetown. They won a national title.
Yeah.
He's like a classic college draft pick forward. Yeah. You know, like will run hard but can finish. So I'm interested to see what he looks like today. So Janjigian, Lara, Torres, Rogers, Perpa. Let me write that for myself. Perpa.
Perpa?
Justin Hack. Like H-A-C-K.
I saw that,
yeah. And he's a good player. Barrera, Dodson, and then Preston it's two last names. I think you could just call him Ataka if you wanted, but it's Tabor Ataka. Sorry, Tabor Ataka. But they wrote it out as if it was one word. Okay, cool. And then welcome, everybody, to MSU Soccer Park on the campus of Montclair State University in Montclair, New Jersey for USL Championship action on ESPN Plus and all across your broadcast networks. I'm David Goss, joined by Steve Jolly here along the field for what we expect to be an exciting matchup between New York Red Bulls 2 and the Hartford Athletic. And Steve, sunsetting, perfect setting for a game here tonight and for two teams that are kind of trying to find their feet again.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect weather here, let's be honest. And this is an environment where you hope that these two teams can find their way. You know, we've got basically another third left of the season. Two teams that over the last month or two have been struggling, so hopefully they can find and right the ship, I guess is the best way of saying it.
1 win combined in their last 12 combined as a team. Not what you want to hear.
Yeah, you're going to a dark place right now. We need to stay positive, right?
So let's go positive. Let's go attacking flair. There's a ton of talent in this game, and none more so than Danny Barrera.
Yeah, I mean, he's Mr. Hartford, let's be honest. The Mr., games played, assists, goals, I think tied all time. I mean, he's such a talented left foot, and this Red Bull team's going to have to focus on him quite a bit tonight.
A goal and 3 assists about 2 months ago against New York Red Bulls too, as you see right there. You talk about attacking talent on the flip side for New York Red Bulls too, that's Omar Sow.
Yeah, you look at this Red Bull team and you look at how they're going to find their way out of this kind of rut a little bit, and it's going to be scoring goals, and obviously there's importance in defending, but Sow is such a talent. And you can see one of the things I liked about this highlight more than anything else is that, yeah, he's coming box, but you can see just the brute strength that he has up top. He makes defenders defend and makes their lives hard, and that's exactly what you want from a talented striker who's local.
So New York Red Bulls too, and Hartford. This local rivalry, you always get fans, you always get intensity. The Elm City Casuals have made their way down here as well as the Mad Hat Massive. It is going to be an incredible environment. We've got New York Red Bulls too, Hartford Athletic.
Every year, the average person generates nearly 1 ton of waste, with more than 250 million tons of garbage being buried in U.S. landfills annually. At Covanta, we are working to change that and ensure no waste is ever. Materials discarded every day should be utilized to their fullest potential to preserve the world's value and generate clean energy for our communities and the world we live in. This is how Covanta is powering today and protecting tomorrow.
We believe healthcare can keep getting better. That we can make it simpler, kinder, and even more miraculous. So we'll keep pushing ourselves to make our best even better. Because that means you will keep getting better too. Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better.
We did it again. Verizon has been named America's most reliable network by RootMetrics. And our customers rated us #1 for network quality in America, according to J.D. Power. #1 in reliability 16 times in a row. Most awarded for network quality 27 times in a row. Proving once again that nobody builds networks like Verizon. That's why we're building 5G right. That's why there's only one best network.
David Goss and Steve Jolly in the house, ready to go for USL Championship action on Saturday evening here on ESPN Plus and wherever you get your broadcast. What more could we ask for? This is the dream right here. And when these two teams have matched up this year, first game of the season, Wellington's first win of his pro career. Then a 7-0 win for Hartford Athletic, and in the last game, 85th minute, Red Bulls 2 up 2-0, and Hartford ties it. So you know we're going to get some action and a lot of good talent in this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, David talked about Barrera, but we're probably going to need to talk about Martino, the goalkeeper, getting his first USL start. I'm also personally going to keep an eye on Derek Dotson. Georgetown won a national championship. He's scored some goals against Red Bull. I'd love to see how he does tonight.
And then on the flip side for New York Red Bulls too, similar pieces to what we're used to over the last few weeks. No Daniel Edelman for just the second time in a starting lineup this year.
No Edelman, so we're going to have to refer to probably Raffanello and LaCava. Those are guys who have provided so many opportunities this season. Those are two players that I'm personally going to keep an eye on tonight.
It's going to be a big one. An experienced New York Red Bull 2 team, rare for this year. As you see, John Wolyniec in his 7th season. And see, we talked to him before the match.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the easiest run he's ever had, but he's still positive.
He's so positive, and he hasn't changed. John and I used to play together for Red Bull, and he's always been the same guy. So well respected, and just a heart of gold. Love seeing all of his successes last 7 years.
And I mentioned it, Harry Watling, his first trip to this field was the first game he coached as a head coach at the pro level. They won that game. It has been an up and down road since then, but he's hoping to return to winning ways. Kenneth Rojas, our head official, Tyler Rostek and Alexandru Foseku, his assistant referees for this one, and Christian Centeno, our 4th official, as we are kicked off here from MSU Soccer Park. Hartford Athletic on the road in their gray kits, top to bottom, going left to right on your monitors. New York Red Bulls 2 in a special Futures Night kit, and we'll talk about a little bit more. They're black tops with red shorts, and they're going right to left on your monitor for this one. For New York Red Bulls 2, a midweek match against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, a 1-0 loss for them. And on the flip side for Hartford Athletic, their match against Charleston was postponed. And so they've gotten a rare little break, which a lot of teams in the Atlantic Division would love to have a couple days off.
Yeah, it's always important, especially when things aren't really going your way, to get a little bit of a break, kind of come together. And I'm sure some of the guys kind of got together off the field as well, kind of let loose a little bit and kind of refocus and reframe the season, I think.
Right now for Hartford Athletic, just outside of the playoff spots. They had pretty much been living in the playoff places for most of the season. Started off as the last undefeated team in the division. And now trying to get back there as Tom Bull's put under pressure. Castillo's touch is a little bit long. Chance here early for Hartford Athletic, knocked away by Kyle Zayats in the captain's armband and finally cleared.
Well, great look. What you want from your captain, come up big there defensively, and just all he needed was a little tap, and that's exactly what he did.
Sam Williams, the 16-year-old, getting the start in midfield in place of Daniel Edelman, number 49. Getting a touch on the ball, and Jeremy Raffanello here. Ball over the top for Jorgensen. He gets behind the defense. Held up and then has it knocked away.
Well, right there, you can see just how dangerous Raffanello could be when he has the ball at his feet and is able to put his head up. Good little ball into Jorgensen, but he couldn't compose himself and collect that inside the box.
Matthias Jorgensen back after a 2-year hiatus from USL Championship Soccer. Got his first goal here at MSU Soccer Park a couple weeks ago. Still trying to find his form as Omar Sow holding off Alex Lara. Sow flicks it over Lara's head, gets back to the ball, goes down, waved on, and then the shot goes just wide. Kenneth Rojas, our head official, seemed to be right on top of that one.
Yeah, you can see, and this is kind of what I talked about in the opening of the show. You see Sow, he's so just physical and does a great job getting it over. And the ball comes to Lacaba, and you'd like to see Lacaba put that on frame. I mean, that was a great opportunity there for Lacaba. Got to test the keeper.
Jake Lacava, 4 goals, 3 assists this season. But 5 goals last year. Kind of felt like this would be another year to grow as Tabor Ataka bursting into the attack and cleared away by Castillo, out for our first corner kick of the game.
Yeah, Juan Castillo doing a great job there as a center defender, cutting the angle off, and at that stage, really what you want to do more than anything else is just kind of get it out of trouble. And there he just kind of kicks it out and allows them to have the set piece opportunity. So this Rebel team, so important to defend here, take responsibility. Don't want to give up any goals here so early in the first half.
It has been a huge problem this season. The losing goal to Pittsburgh last game came from a corner kick. 3 of the goals in that 7-0 loss were set pieces by Hartford Athletic. So this has been an Achilles heel. His first one swung into the far post. Lara there, he's able to keep it alive and then cleared eventually by New York Red Bulls 2.
Don't get me wrong, I love a nice far post ball, but when it's early in the game, I think you just got to put a lot of pace in it and make a keeper make a decision. And Lewis had it pretty easy there as the ball went wide.
And especially against a team, as we said, it's been mental for New York Red Bulls too, defending.
I mean, you look at Hartford too, they've got size, they've got strength. I think early in the game, you got, especially when you're on the road, you got to make it dangerous and you got to put that ball in with pace.
Come down the end line here, ball played in, headed on goal, and Tabor Itaka inches wide from the breakthrough.
Yeah, Itaka Tabora Toritaka just does a great job just getting to the ball before the defender, and you'd like to see him kind of head that ball down, and he's going to be frustrated with that opportunity and not finishing it off.
Cameroonian has been explosive this year. 4 goals, 4 assists for this Hartford Athletic side. Only his 8th start of the year, as you see the giant cast on his right hand. And Itaka, a bright start to this game. Raffanello helping defensively. He helps win the ball back. One of the things we haven't been able to say for every Red Bull 2 game, surprisingly this year, has been the pace of the game.
Yeah.
This feels like a New York Red Bull 2 USL Championship game early on.
And I like seeing it. I mean, that's kind of what Red Bull as an institution is kind of known for, getting back to, what makes them, feel comfortable and doing what they know they can do relative to, getting some results here. It's just kind of, when things aren't going your way, you got to go back to things that you can rely on.
So, early ball into the feet of Lacava. Back to So. Goes down once again in the box. Lacava can't get it under control. And Torres with the clearance. Obregon was lurking behind that ball. As now JC Cortez out for a run. He loses possession. Opportunity coming here for Dotson to pull it back. And Itaka again, inches wide of the far post.
Yeah, Itaka has to do a better job there. Just again, making Lewis make saves. It's so important that you get the ball in frame. A great pass back, just 12 yards out. Should have kept that on the ground, and at least make it difficult for the goalie there.
Michael Knapp, his first start midweek against Pittsburgh for 2 months, getting a back-to-back start here at the right back position. He holds the piece of history. He's the first Montclair State University alumni to play here as a pro for New York Red Bulls 2. MSU and New York Red Bulls 2 coming together for this partnership to build this stadium and operate this facility.
That's a great facility. I mean, I absolutely love coming out here.
You wish you had trained here,
yeah,
right?
Most definitely. My son came out because he's come to a couple of games and he loves coming up here, and I mean, it's just a great little environment. Just love what they've done here.
All the stands added. You can see off to your right in your screen the facilities, the locker rooms that have been added for these teams as well. This ball flicked over the top and read by Tom Bull. Hack heads it back into play. Lacava trying to start the counter. Justin Hack closes it down. Barrera now, the danger man. Through ball out wide for Torres. Torres cross floated to the far post. Dodson heads it back. Open in the middle of the box. And Itaka puts it over the top.
Whew. Another opportunity here. You can see this, the distribution from Barrera was incredible on that left-hand side. A good little service and do exactly what you need to do. Just put it in the mixer there, and Itaka needs to do a better job in terms of finishing some of these opportunities.
Yeah, he's crossed that line from being dangerous to being wasteful.
Yeah. It might be one of those times where you get called to the sidelines and just, the coaches have a little talk with them. It's like, hey, let's settle down a little bit. Let's put one of these opportunities in.
No goals last year for San Antonio, but was dangerous in his career at Las Vegas Lights. Brought over to the U.S. by Eric Winalda in that team. 8 goals, 3 assists his lone season out in Vegas. He's been productive this year. He's always dangerous when he's on the field.
That one play, you can also see kind of what's been going the wrong way with Red Bull, just in terms of understanding their responsibilities defensively and taking responsibility is individually for players. And that would be my cause of concern more than anything else here in the first 10 minutes for this Red Bull team. It's just, make it a priority to understand what your role and responsibility is first and foremost defensively, and we just haven't seen that enough here so far.
Arthur Rogers will take this throw in. Rogers returning to the starting lineup. The London native. Of course, the hometown of head coach Harry Watling, coming over from the Chelsea Academy and West Ham Academy. Just 30 years old, had the opportunity to be a head coach of a professional setup. Too good to let go. Raidi Jaidi, former Tunisian international center back, was now a head coach over in Belgium. Was the head man last year, sort of on loan from Southampton. And so Watling following a similar mold, that British background.
I know this Hartford team has struggled of late, but you can see just the quality that they have. I mean, this is a team that you can never take lightly, and I know they haven't been winning a lot of games lately, but it's a talented team, no question.
A ton of injuries for this group. No Sebastian Elney, no Bradford Jamieson. Still a ton of talent out there on the field. So gets by one defender, closed down by gray jerseys. And he will lose the ball to the feet of Perpa. Now Barrera a little bit. Early ball in from Barrera. Down by Tombul, and Castillo with the clearance. Makava's gotten a couple of touches early on here.
Yeah, I like how he's cutting into the middle a little bit, trying to find the game. I think you can see in terms of just the build out of this Red Bull team, they're struggling a little bit, and they've been relying too much on the counterattack, and we'll see what happens here on this right-hand side.
Raffanello can't keep that one in possession, and now Justin Hack, some space to build out. Justin Hack on loan from NYCFC for the second time to Hartford Athletic in 2 years. He scored on his debut last year against New York Red Bulls too. This now his fourth start in this loan stint here in 2021. Big collision, no whistle. Chance here for New York Red Bulls too to go back the other way. LaCava off and running. Space in front of him, one-on-one with Lara. Jake LaCava to his left foot, and he shot it to the back of the net. Mr. Chaos himself, Jake LaCava. And he's got his 5th goal of the season.
Yeah, Jake did about everything right here, let's be honest. Does a great job with a lot of pace, running at the defender. This little step over right here, I love. Going to that left-hand side, and you know it's going to go to that far post, and there's nothing really the keeper could do about that one. Jake LaCava having a good start for his evening. We saw the opportunity that he missed a little bit earlier, but look at this great little step over. Just puts the defender just a slight little misstep, and then finds that back post. Great job by LaCava.
And we have talked about the struggles for New York Red Bulls too. It has been the opposite this year. Big opportunities missed by them, and goals back the other way against the run of play. And in this one, Tabor Ditaka can't get one to hit the back of the net, and Jake LaCava able to strike in the other direction.
Yeah, let's be honest. There was a good possibility this New York team could have given up 2 or 3 goals there in the first 10 minutes, and they escaped it. But, fortunately for them, Jake LaCava did a great individual effort. And now defensively, and not only just defensively, I'm talking about the entire team, has to understand their responsibility to make sure that they get out of this first half knowing that they're a goal up, and just try to find some winning ways again. Get that confidence back up. And that's where, leadership starts stepping in terms of being a little vocal, making sure that everybody understands that they have a role that they have to find out.
It was Omar Sow as well with that layoff.
Yeah.
To create some space as immediately Hartford Athletic back into the attack. We mentioned a little bit at the top for New York Red Bulls too. They are the only team in the USL Championship that has not held a clean sheet the entire season. That's in all 4 divisions on both sides of the country. So the expectation is that 1 goal won't be enough for New York Red Bulls too. Also, the expectation is we're going to be entertained by goals over the course of the night.
Yeah. I mean, we can see already here in the first 12 or 13 minutes. We talked about how great the weather is, but, you can see this is open-ended kind of game. I mean, you literally got the best weather you could ever ask for in terms of a early September game. Not a cloud in the sky, shades down, and guys are looking to run.
And someone, somewhere, took the soup out of the air that we've been dealing with for the last 4 months, which I think is probably the level of energy you're seeing from these players to not have to run through that humidity over the course of this game. Don't forget, fans, since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Obregon Jr. brings that one down. Castillo recovering. Dotson lays it back to the feet of Perpa. And Knapp will be called for the foul. And you mentioned this Red Bull 2 backline. You've got Michael Knapp, who started the year at center mid. You've got Emir Tambul, who came in as a center back. Juan Castillo, a left back at center back. And J.C. Cortez, a 17-year-old at left back. So there are question marks across that back line.
You know, there's question marks. And in this specific play, you got a set piece. If you're Hartford, I think you still got to continue to test the keeper and put it inside the box. You've got the size. You know, there's only so many, Red Bull players that really have a lot of size in that back line. So why not test the keeper, put it in that far 6-yard spot?
It'll be Rogers to take it early under hit. And now he chases the second ball. Jorgensen gets there first. His clearance only as far as the danger man. Danny Barrera drives one to the far post. And Luca Lewis right on top of it.
Red Bull team got a little lucky there in terms of that set piece opportunity, playing it short, made the defensive situation a little easier.
Rogers knocking that pass for Cortez out. I said J.C. Cortez, just 17 years old at left back in this game. He's been one of the stars at the academy level as Lewis misses on that pass and puts it out for a throw-in. Cortez now his 7th start in USL Championship in his career. Has some time with the U.S. and Peruvian youth national teams. So a high-level prospect. Torres there, right on top of Raffanello, but he gets called for the foul.
Yeah, I'd like to see this Red Bull 2 team kind of calm down a little bit, try to get the midfield more engaged in the game, try to keep some possession. I don't think there's a long-term future with playing these long balls. Let's get the midfield in play, try to kind of dictate pace of play a little bit.
Sam Williams playing alongside Kyle Zayed, so the most experienced and least experienced players in there.
Yeah.
Trying to get their foot on the ball a little. Kyle coming back from a long-time foot injury, a Connecticut native himself. Came all the way through the ranks, 6 years in the Red Bull Academy, a full career at Georgetown University, and now the longest tenured Red Bull 2 player, as Williams is able to release Raffanello. Ball played wide for Omar Sow. Sow coming in on his right foot, battling with defenders, and then drops it back for Williams. Williams with the left-footed shot, and he drives it high.
Well, you can see again, and it's become time and time again that this Raffanello on the right-hand side really kind of starts things up for this team. So looked like he had an opportunity on the top of the 18-yard box to take a shot, but he didn't. And, you can see it's counterattacking soccer right now for this Red Bull team.
We mentioned off the top, Carlos Hermosillo, Mexico native. This his first career USL Championship game. Played for FC Tucson last year in USL League One. And over in his native Mexico in the Monarcos Academy. RIP, of course, to Monarcos for his youth career. And now getting a chance at the USL Championship level. Rooted behind Jeff Caldwell, one of the best in the league. In the running for goalkeeper of the year this year. Getting his first opportunity here in this one. Ball over the top. Dodson with his left-footed cross just over the top of the crossbar.
Get the feeling, David, that this isn't a game, as you mentioned before, isn't going to be a 1-0 game. And it just seems too wide open. You see both two teams getting some quality chances here, and we're only 20 minutes in. This could be one of those games where we're looking back and say, trying to count how many goals have been scored on the evening.
In the last matchup, New York Red Bulls 2 goals in the first half for a 2-0 lead. Emir Tambul shown a second yellow at about the 75th minute, and then 10 minutes later, Hartford scored 2 goals in the final 5 minutes to tie it 2-2. And of course, 7 goals for Hartford before that one. So this matchup has meant goals for Red Bulls too. Outside of their last game, it's been 3-2, 2-1. It's been tight, but it has been losses, but it has been high-scoring ones.
And it's been a lot of just bad goals, just giving up, and that's what's kind of costing this team right now. It's just bad goals, giving up bad goals, and you can see already with just all the different names and faces that are kind of on the back line now. There's going to be spacing problems. There's going to be communication problems, but you want to try to limit them as much as possible, and you especially want to limit them in the early moments of each side of the half.
On the flip side, this Hartford Athletic side trying to find their feet as well. Just 1 win in their last 5 matches, but it has been a brutal schedule for them. On the road at Miami, facing off the super talented Colorado Switchbacks side out in Colorado about a month ago, and it does not get easier for them. They've got a huge national TV game coming up against Louisville. They still face New Mexico as an out-of-division game. And, of course, the juggernauts that are Tampa, Pittsburgh, Miami sitting in front of them. As this ball's curled in. Castillo heads it away. Raffanello with a long ball for Jorgensen. Jorgensen, perfect touch. He takes it down, and what a save.
Maybe we should take some time and just kind of reflect on that touch right there, dude. That was absolutely incredible touch. And quite frankly, I don't know what was better, the actual touch itself by Jorgensen here or the actual save to come up this big and to extend himself and push it out wide. Marizano was such a great save there, but, I mean, looking back at that touch, man.
Woo! Behind you.
Man.
At full speed, and then the ball comes out in front of you. It felt like the finish was going to be the easiest part of the whole thing.
No.
I thought we were looking at the goal of the year. What a save. As I said, Maracino in his first career USL Championship start. First corner of the game coming from the New York Red Bulls too. Serve to the far post, So heads it down. It's off of Janjigian. And yet out for a goal kick in the end.
Maybe it went past the end line there. I mean, it's never easy, Maracino. You think about you starting your first USL game. Unfortunately, nothing you can do about it, give up an early goal, and then you're asked to come up really big there with that save, and now you're putting it under pressure, playing out of the back. It's a tough start here for him. Not necessarily from his performance. It's just a tough start in terms of environment to be in. Kind of wanting to kind of ease yourself into your first USL game, right?
It does not get easier, and as I said, for Hartford Athletic, it doesn't get easier as 2 of the East Best clash to kick off a fall to remember when the USL on ESPN continues. Perennial contenders Louisville City travel to Dillon Stadium to meet these Hartford Athletic in a potential playoff preview on September 7th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. So in 3 days, if you are in the Hartford area, of course, get out to that game. And if you are not, for all of you out there watching remotely, wherever you are, make sure to tune into ESPN2. It's a huge game in both the Atlantic and Central Division. Louisville City once again leading things, and they look to be a USL Cup contender. Hartford Athletic, that's where they want to get. Yeah. Last year was a huge step. This year, they've wavered at times, but there's no doubt, as you said earlier, this is one of the most talented rosters in USL.
Without question. It's just a team that kind of, and you see it every single season, and every single team kind of goes through, peaks and valleys here. And I'll step out for a second.
Jorgensen off and flying. Jorgensen takes it wide, tries to cut it back, and intercepted by Janjigian. Jorgensen still in possession, and now finally Hack comes over to help defensively.
Well, we've seen some incredible individual efforts there. Janjigian with a great job defensively as he was kind of defending 3 players there against Red Bull too, and it does a great job stopping that run. But I was talking about Hartford. This is a quality team. There's no question about it. And every single season, you're going to go through peaks and valleys. And unfortunately for them, they've gone through a little bit of valley. But just about every team is going to have, this is kind of the reckoning month, September. You've got Red Bull too, who has 8 games this month. You've got obviously Hartford coming up with some big games. And the way the season kind of goes is going to be really, at least for Hartford's sake, is really going to be, they're going to need a productive September.
This could be a big month for them. Just one game right now out of a playoff place. And you talk about those peaks and valleys. So many big misses right now. Walmart Martinez out with El Salvador. We're talking about full international players. Obregon, of course, has been off with Honduras throughout the year. I mentioned some of the injuries to this side, and yet they've done a good job reloading throughout the season. Derek Dodson coming on loan. Keenan Hott, who's available for this team off the bench. Former New York Red Bull 2 player, being brought in on an academy contract in the middle of the season. So some big-time options that they've added as we've gone along, which you have to do to maintain over the course of a 6 to 7 month season.
You do, and I would only add that, you know, as much as you're adding new players, I mean, one of the luxuries is, you know, at least for this organization, Hartford, is that they have a Barrera, a guy who, you know, I mean, does it get any more talented in USL than Barrera in terms of just quality day in, day out? I mean, he's big time.
8 goals, 6 assists this year for Barrera. One of the leaders in both categories across the entire USL Championship. For the Thousand Oaks native.
Having that veteran presence in your locker room and on the practice field when things aren't going well, or when they are going well, is so huge for teams, especially when you've got so much transition, new faces, new names, that you can have that stabilizing force, and he's a special stabilizing force here in this league.
Castillo in a battle. Yeah, that's where you look at, as I said, Justin Hack scores on his debut. You can do that because you're coming in and playing alongside a guy who can make your life easy, as Hack now on the ball once again. Big cross played in. Lewis with the punch. Ralphinello bikes away the clearance.
Well, Harper will continue to try to push numbers forward here and try to get something out of this next 20 minutes or so to the end of the first half. They've done a pretty good job here in terms of width on the right-hand side and left-hand side, opening itself up for them.
Ralphinello in a battle. His clearance all the way back into the box, and then Tom Bull takes a second hack at it just to get it away. So a 12th minute goal right now from Jake LaCava against the run of play, after Hartford Athletic had 3 big opportunities for Preston Tabor to Taka. He was not able to put away. Right now, that is the lone goal in this one. Does not seem in any way like that'll be our only strike this evening. Rogers with another big cross. Headed away only as far as Hack.
The credit I would give this Red Bull 2 team more than anything else defensively right now is just the numbers that they're getting behind the ball. There is some miscommunication and there's some spacing issues without question. But at least they're getting numbers behind the ball, and that's kind of saving them right now.
Defending with all 11 times throughout this first half. Perpa coming forward into the path of Dodson. Tom Bull beats him there. He's able to clear it away before it crosses the end line. So a throw-in coming for the Athletic. Janjigian, he's shown his quality defensively in this one. Shown his ability on the ball as well there.
Yeah.
And he has been the other veteran stabilizing force in this team. Thomas Janjigian has started every game so far this year. Game in and game out. He's brought that USL Championship pedigree.
Talented player, and he's got a great name too. Great name.
You know, it's a classic Pleasanton, California name.
Oh.
Omar So takes a fall and wins a free kick. Janjigian, part of the Reno squad last year, one of the best in the league before that franchise folded, and made his way over to Hartford. So what a steal, really. What a pickup it's been for Hartford. You wouldn't expect a player of that quality to become available after the season he had. But Hartford Athletic being vigilant. about the field out there and what's going on with other clubs around the league. Raffanello.
Yeah.
Here's a free kick, and you've seen some confidence on the ball that we haven't seen a lot this year from New York Red Bulls team.
Yeah, and I love what he did, Raffanello, right here on this right-hand side. He really didn't have many options with the ball coming in, and he does just a great job in terms of just making a move and making sure that he gets something out of it. And his point, it was either a deflection, and you're going to get a throw-in, or you're going to get a foul. And now you have a great opportunity here in the 30th minute or 31st minute to try to get another goal here.
Big opportunity. It'll be Raffanello to serve it in. The team's leader in assists. Plays it over the top. Williams' shot is saved.
Good job there by just putting it in. Williams wish he kind of had that back in terms of putting some pace on it, but another good opportunity there by Red Bull too.
Jorgensen, big collision. It's won by Jinjigian. Ball clipped over the top. Cortez in a foot race, and Castillo comes over to help. Castillo with a clearance on his second attempt. Chaos right now in the middle for these two teams. For Juan Castillo, this about his fourth career game at center back. The first time he found out about 35 minutes before the game that he'd be playing there. But we talked to John Wolyniec a little bit about what he sees in him when he does play center back.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for him is, obviously we recognize he doesn't have the greatest size, but he's smart and he needs to become a better, box defender, I guess the best way of saying it. You got to understand, as I kind of talked about in the first 20 minutes, is understanding your responsibilities defensively, and sometimes you don't have to look pretty. Your own focus and your job and responsibilities to make sure that other people aren't scoring goals, and sometimes you lose that kind of perspective. But, I mean, you can see already, I mean, the fact that he can step into a center back position was not easy, and have the relationship that he has with Turnbull. I mean, the sky's the limit with this guy. It just needs, some time to really understand his responsibilities defensively first and foremost. That is the reason why you're a defender, and then from there you'll get the confidence to be able to get out of the back, because everybody knows Red Bull system. It's all about guys in the back in terms of the outside guys getting forward. So he'll get some opportunities, but the more that he can play center back position and understand kind of the framework of what it means to be quote unquote a defender first and foremost, I think it's going to be important for him.
Colombian U17, U20 international, just 18 years old here, his first year in the United States, and David Goss alongside Steve Jolly in the booth, and we are here to promote ugly but successful defending. Let's have heroes that are clearance heroes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I made a heck of a career being ugly defensively, so I'm okay with it.
Steve Jolly just being the announcer, you always wish he had up in the booth when he was down on the field. Chance in the box here. The ball clipped to the other side of the 18.
Oh, rest assured, I mean, I didn't start my career as a defender. I never played defense in my entire life until I got my second-year career with the LA Galaxy. And fortunately for me, I had Robin Fraser and Dan Kalishman and Greg Vanny, Caligiuri, some guys that knew what they were talking about defensively. And they made it abundantly clear to me that my responsibility first and foremost was to make sure that the other team wasn't scoring goals. We don't need you to do any of that midfield stuff. Kick it out if you got to kick it out sometimes.
Cortez able to win that one back. Jorgensen off and running. Jorgensen closed down by Hack, and Justin Hack wins it back. Long run for the defensive midfielder, but then he turns it over. Williams quickly to Raffanello. Raffanello pulls it across the box, and it'll roll out for a goal kick.
Yeah, you can see Hack's response right away, putting his hand up. You can see right there, he knows he did a good job defensively in terms of that inline defensively, but for him to play that ball across the middle, that's a big no-no. And unfortunately for Red Bull 2 there, you see Raffanello putting the ball through at least to the back post, but he didn't have a runner. That's usually where you see LaCava kind of do his thing.
Harry Watling, a lot to think about for him. His team's created some big opportunities, but currently trailing what would be a sixth straight game, or 6 of the last 5 without a win if this result were to hold, but still got plenty of time left. Dotson now flying forward. Tom Bull wins it away. Castillo will clip it to the feet of Cortez. Zayats for LaCava. An interception from Torres. Now New York a chance to reset in possession. Castillo hits it long. Torres wins it for a second straight time. And then Perpa draws a foul.
Yeah, I think for Red Bull, it's almost splitting up the game a little bit in different segments. You've got a situation here, you got the final 10 minutes. You want to make sure that you get into the locker room, not giving up a goal. We've talked about the struggles that this team has had over the last, well, it's a couple months. I mean, this Red Bull team has not won since July 7th. So it's been a while since they had a debut. So, you know, if they can get out of this game and then break the game in segments and get out of this game without giving up a goal and then also get the win, that would be huge for their confidence right now.
And for Hartford, I just want to see one of these hit the back of the net that they've created. They have to feel good about the way they've played.
And that's exactly right. And that's probably the message more than anything else that they'll get is that the opportunities are there. There's no question about that. And they'll continue to have opportunities.
Obregon Jr. putting the pressure on. Lewis puts it out into the crowd. The United Soccer League's all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. New York Red Bulls, too, trying to do Red Bull things. Torres turns it over. Raffanello pulls it back into the feet of So. So's early shot and saved at the near post. Marancio had to be aware of that one.
No, Marancio does a great job doing what he's supposed to do, cover that near post. You see Raffanello doing a good job just getting forward, finally gets stopped, throws it off to So. What I love about this more than anything else is So had the only thing on that guy's mind right there was, I'm going to take a shot. And you love seeing that by your forward. And then Marancio coming up with a big save, though, and with a good job overall, both by Red Bull 2 and also Marancio.
And you were surprised a little earlier that So was hesitant in an opportunity to get in and get a shot. So changing that up there as we got a second ball off the field. Raffanello serves this one in all the way through the box. And out the other side, can Dotson start the counterattack? Obregon Jr. goes down, no foul against Cortez. Cortez into the attack, finds So once again, surrounded by gray jerseys.
And you mentioned it, surrounded by gray jerseys. I mean, this is So, every time he gets the ball, you can see the numbers kind of collapse on him. They got to be a little bit better, Red Bull 2, LaCava, and a couple other players, making sure that they understand that they're going to have some space and they're going to have opportunities if you just run off them a little bit.
Raffanello with the win. And taken down by Justin Hack. New Jersey versus New York City right there. Playing out on the field, and a little fire from the Delran, New Jersey native Jeremy Raffanello. Justin Hack has had an active first half for this Hartford side. 3 appearances in Major League Soccer for NYCFC. Raffanello, 5 assists this year. We'll take this set piece once again, floated all the way into the 6 and taken simply by the goalkeeper. Obregon Jr. can't keep possession. Raffanello and Torres have been in a phenomenal battle all half to start this game. As Rogers now flowing forward. It's a 12th minute goal from Jake LaCava. A lone strike so far. They've had a number of good looks, both sides, since then as Dodson's cross is blocked away. Rogers wins it back. LaCava does the work defensively, and now So off and running. Marceau waiting for support. And then tries to go at himself and loses possession. And Barrera, beautifully done. Perpa up the line. Tabori Taka's cross. It's taken by Lewis. Intense stuff.
Yeah, it's back and forth. And if I'm Lewis, I'm doing exactly what he's doing right now. You got to recognize the kind of what's happening in the game. You got to recognize the fact there's only 5 minutes remaining. If you can slow it down a little bit, why not?
Now Finello's flick on to the feet of Perpa. Hack out wide. Rogers all the way back. And Jigian had that interception on the 3-on-1 earlier in the game. Hack with the big switch across the field for Torres. Immediately into the feet of Barrera. Attacking now for Hartford Athletic. Out wide, Ibor to Taka. And Torres' cross is blocked. Obregon Jr. turns Tambul. And Tambul on his back, called for the foul.
Oh, great turn. Just an absolutely great turn. Nothing Tambul could do there in terms of with the turn. And unfortunately for him, kind of lost his speed a little bit, or he would have been in. But this is a golden opportunity for a shot on goal.
And you have to think this is going to be Danny Barrera.
If you've got some money to spend, I think I got a good bet for you on who's going to take this one.
He has stepped off a couple for teammates, but those were deeper. 6 goals, 8 assists this year. As I said, Barrera, 1 goal and 3 assists. 7-0 victory. He has had New York Red Bulls 2 number. When they faced off in the past, can Barrera do it once again? Barrera's shot, and it's always rising. You won the bet.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's what you expected from the service.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody would expect a finish attempt like that from a talent like Barrera. Missed kind of opportunity there. I still think that, you know, the biggest thing you want to do, especially in the first half, is you want to make keepers make saves. And I know it always looks nice when you get upper 90 and all that kind of stuff. More often than not, you know, keepers who haven't been kind of in the game a lot as kind of, you know, Lewis has been in this game, and, you know, why not test him a little bit?
Foot race over the top. Tambul gets there first. Somehow New York Red Bulls still able to win it back. Ball now down with Barrera. Perpa and Hack. Barrera, they've been an active midfield 3. Beaten here now. Raffanello off and flying. He looks for Omar Sow across the box. Sow's right-footed shot is blocked. A drop from the goalkeeper there. Marancillo able to take it cleanly, but got it in the end.
I'm finding a hard time remembering the last time I've seen a Red Bull team, you know, 2 or, you know, the MLS team do it like a traditional counterattack as much as this team is doing. You're usually seeing it from the width, you know, out wide, and that's not what we're seeing from this team. It's bypass the midfield and get it to the forwards as soon as possible.
Obregon Jr. over the top. Now, it does feel in that way. Jorgensen's presence has changed a little because he's stretching the line every time. It's allowing Lacava, Raffanello to find the space in the middle.
It is. I mean, it's making the center back tandem of Hartford right now difficult, and that's exactly what you want. And that's why I think, you know, you're going to see like Jake Lacava in the second half find the space a little bit better than he is right now, because I think the coaching staff will talk to him a little bit and say, hey, man, you got some opportunities here. Let's, you know, push yourself inside, or, you know, push yourself back a little bit because you'll get the ball.
Lacava and Omar Sow coming into the year, the 2 leading goal scorers from last season. So a lot of expectations on their shoulders. Raffanello with 1 career USL Championship goal has been a nice surprise. And a player, Gerhard Stuber, I think is very excited about himself as LaCava's touch is too long. Barrera heads it wide. Rogers trying to start the counter. Hartford looking for a traditional counter attack themselves. And Castillo's not going to lose many foot races. Puts it out for a throw-in.
And I'm okay with that decision there. You could see that there's a little bit, Lewis coming in a little late, maybe a lack of communication, so he wanted to be safe there and put it out wide. Nothing wrong with that.
Diving header from Tom Bull. Will be a minimum of 1 minute of stoppage time coming here in this first half. We talked about it a little bit. What's the message from Harry Watling in the halftime locker?
Well, the opportunities will come. I mean, I still think there's a little bit of a problem there by Red Bull 2 in terms of their spacing by the back line in their midfield. So
Hack striding forward. He takes the shot.
I think Barrera is going to find more opportunities. He's going to see the spaces. He's going to talk to his coaching staff. And this is a Hartford team, as we've talked about time and time again. They're very talented. You know, they've got to just make sure that they kind of neutralize the counterattack of Red Bull 2. But, you know, they're going to get some opportunities in the second half, no doubt. And you know, fortunately for Red Bull, they've done everything they needed to do. And that's more than anything else. It was escape the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it could have been bad, and it could have been bad ugly for this Red Bull 2 team.
It'll be interesting to see the intensity Hartford Athletic comes out of the halftime locker room with.
I agree.
The way they started this game, you'd expect them to come flying. Can New York Red Bulls 2 match that is the real question mark. They've yet to get a shutout all season. The lone team left in the USL Championship. They're sitting on one right now. They've got a 1-0 lead through the goal by Jake LaCava. What a big moment for that young man.
Yeah, Jake had a great start to the game, created a great opportunity for himself, and if anything, this Red Bull team should be happy that they're going into halftime willing goal up.
New York Red Bulls 2 leading Mr. Chaos, Jake LaCava. His left-footed goal in the 12th minute, the lone strike so far, but what an end-to-end game we have had. We've got coverage coming up for you, a look around the league. We'll talk a little national team as well. The USL helped build the USMNT. It's going to go and take the field tomorrow against Canada. We'll be back here on ESPN Plus with all your halftime coverage in just a moment.
I'll give you something, make you shake it.
We did it again. Verizon has been named America's most reliable network by Root Metrics. And our customers rated us #1 for network quality in America, according to JD Power. #1 in reliability 16 times in a row. Most awarded for network quality 27 times in a row. Proving once again that nobody builds networks like Verizon. That's why we're building 5G right. That's why there's only one best network.
We believe healthcare can keep getting better. That we can make it simpler, kinder, and even more miraculous. So we'll keep pushing ourselves to make our best even better. Because that means you will keep getting better too. Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better.
You can see the fan support here at MSU Soccer Park. A great showing from the Hartford Athletic fans. A great showing from these young players
That is awesome.
out there on the field. It is Futures Night here at New York Red Bulls 2. And then an opportunity to recognize the hard work from the players and the coaches and the clubs. This is pre-academy level. So the RDS, which is the Red Bull local academies across the tri-state area, and these young players could be the next Tyler Adams, because that's where he started all the way at the beginning. And if not, well, they're having a pretty good night out here as well. They were not supposed to go around the field, and this looks like a group that's a little too excited to follow directions.
I'm fine with it. Let them do whatever they need to do for the next minute or two. Let them enjoy the experience.
And they could be the next players out here. You look at a Curtis O'Fore, he's just 16 years old. Manto Estrella, 14 when he signed his pro deal. So these young players, their names are out there on the field already. They're on these special Future Night jerseys that are worn here tonight. They will be auctioned off starting September 20th. The proceeds benefiting the Wings for Life Foundation. And so a cool opportunity for these young players, a great cause for New York Red Bulls too to support, an opportunity for you to get a pretty dope jersey and a game-worn one. You got to go for Jake LaCava, or you can go for Omar Sow, one of our star players coming into this game, a Red Bull Academy player himself, and he's had a bright start.
Well, he has. He's just so dangerous, and he's one of those players that every time he gets the ball, you get excited about what's going to happen. In this situation, you see a great first touch by LaCava, which really kind of opens it up for him, and there's a reason why this little step over right here did everything you needed to do to open up the space for him and get to that far post. Good job, Jake LaCava.
Omar Sow and LaCava for 2 years now. The front men are running alongside each other. On the flip side, Danny Barrera. You've seen the opportunities, you've seen the quality from him and his effect on the game.
He's so good, and I think he's going to be better in the second half because of the spacing between the back line of Red Bull and their midfield. There's about 20 yards there, 15 yards there. A guy of his experience, he's going to find that open space, and he's going to make the lives of this Red Bull team very difficult in the second half.
Danny Barrera, you said it, is Mr. Hartford Athletic, but he is not a Connecticut native. That's Kyle Zayats, Westport, Connecticut native, 24 years old, longtime Red Bull Academy and New York Red Bull 2 player, and we had a chance to talk about his experience a little bit more. Let's take a look. Up to the top of the box, Zayats shot, and it sneaks in the corner.
I'm Kyle Zayats. I'm from Westport, Connecticut. Being one of the veterans on this team is a big role. It's kind of crazy that I am one of the older kids on the team. I was actually listening to the broadcast, and the Sacramento commentators pointed out that I'm a couple years older than everyone. So with that, I think there's just an added responsibility to my leadership role. I hope a lot of the younger kids are going to look up to me, and I want to, put my best foot forward on the field, off the field, to make them feel comfortable, make them feel confident. And at the end of the day, it's finding that perfect balance between pushing the team day in, day out to win today, but also being able to prepare them for the next stages of their lives and the next parts of their career.
You hear how level-headed Kyle Zayats is, out injured for a year, and you'll love this. International economics is his interest, so he took a little bit of portfolio and asset management optimization courses while he was out injured. How fun does that sound, Steve?
It sounds great, because that's exactly what I do for a living.
So if he's got a resume, and here it is.
Well, first of all, he's got to stop depressing me by talking about all the young kids when he's 24 years old and he's the veteran. But, what a talent. Obviously had a great career there at Georgetown University. We talked about how smart, he's got a lot going for him. So, hopefully for him, he kind of gets settled into his leadership position and, he's had a really good career here.
A large part of the conversation with Red Bull 2 is always about development for young players. It's very key to have a Chris Lemma and now a Kyle Zayats and Evan Laurel to be a leader for those young players around.
It's a necessity.
Right.
It's a necessity. At the end of the day, you're going to have so many young players. I mean, that's kind of the Red Bull way, and you need guys like that to kind of step into that role and understand that, it's not always about me, and he's going to explain and articulate that very well to the other players.
Similar to how we talked about Danny Barrera, so much good young talent, attacking talent out there on the field. We've got goals coming. We'll be back in just a moment with your second half action here on ESPN+.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more like stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
City double their money, and how sweet the sound in Lynn Family Stadium.
I did get an interesting text from someone in the Phoenix organization talking about how big and physical that game was, and maybe they didn't necessarily know it was going to be just like that. I think they got a good taste. By the way, in case you're wondering, Forrest Lasso is competing for the Summer Olympics in gymnastics. Just wanted you to know. What you got next?
Lee Cohen, he was part of that routine.
Bring it to me.
Forrest Lasso, the defender of the year, leaping over the ad boards and pirouetting his way toward the dugout.
We believe healthcare can keep getting better. That we can make it simpler, kinder, and even more miraculous. So we'll keep pushing ourselves to make our best even better. Because that means you will keep getting better too. Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better.
The lights are on at MSU Soccer Park, and the game has lived up to the setting so far. 1-0, a ton of action, and you see what this means for Hartford Athletic. With a win, they move back into the playoffs for at least the night. With a loss, it starts to get further and further, and they've got basically Murderer's Row coming up for their roster, for their schedule. For New York Red Bulls, too, it's a tough lift right now, but John Womack just wants to start C3 points up there on the board, so you see what this means for these two sides. And you see what else is going on around the league. A big Charlotte Independence lead against Miami FC 2-0 right now. Atlanta United, too, has had a strong season, leading Indy 11 as well, and Loudoun United, another Atlantic Division side playing outside the division. Loudoun United beating Indy 11 in their last outside division game to show you how strong this Atlantic has been. Take a look out west. Haji Barry, he has been the talk of the league. He is dominating the Golden Boot race for the Colorado Switchbacks and Brendan Burke's side. And you look out to California, where it's going to come down to the wire between the teams out there for the playoffs. But we talked a little bit about it, Steve, development, what the roadmap looks like now, and how USL from League 2, League 1, and the championship can assist it. And 14 alumni in this USMNT side is going to face Canada tomorrow. That's impressive.
Yeah, we think Turner, and obviously Kyle Adams is, I mean, the absolute greatest example you could ever have in terms of development in our league, in terms of, right from the academy side all the way up to, the Champions League team.
Yeah.
Like, put that in perspective. It's just hard for me to frame even sometimes thinking about it.
It's a world that didn't exist.
It did not.
Very, very recently, and now you look at all these great players that are going to roll out there against Canada tomorrow, and some on Canada as well, who have helped come through the USL system. So much talent on display across the USL Championship, and we've seen a lot of it here tonight. We're excited for what's coming up the second half in just a few moments here on ESPN+.
Every year, the average person generates nearly 1 ton of waste, with more than 250 million tons of garbage being buried in U.S. landfills annually. At Covanta, we are working to change that and ensure no waste is ever wasted. We believe the materials discarded every day should be utilized to their fullest potential to preserve the world's valuable resources and generate clean energy for our communities and the world we live in. This is how Covanta is powering today and protecting tomorrow.
something, make you shake it.
Two teams back out on the field. Let's take a look at the first half highlights here at MSU Soccer Park. David Goss and Steve Jolly with you. And Steve, lone goal, where else to start?
Yeah, you look at that one touch by So, and the first touch by Jake LaCava creates all the space for him, but you can't say enough about that one little step over to the left-hand side to be able to finish that off to the far post. Good job there by Jake LaCava.
And he moves at pace with the ball so comfortably, and if he's striking it clean, he is dangerous, and you see the energy there for the team. Mr. Chaos himself loving it, but it was not one-sided at all. Hartford Athletic had chance after chance to start to open the scoring.
Barrera does a good job just kind of creating space, and they're going to put it inside the box. And you know, we saw this quite a few times where at least Ataka, if he would have done just a little bit better job, he might have had 2, maybe 3 goals already in the evening.
Yeah, he was dangerous. Then it became wasteful at times, and consistently it was that ball to the far post.
Yeah, and you know, we saw it time and time again in that first 15 minutes that the game has really opened itself up, and if Ataka was a little bit better and a little bit more lethal in the box, we'd have a completely different game and a different scoreline.
And this is why this game's so important to these two sides. Look at that schedule coming up, and New Mexico right after Tampa as well for Hartford Athletic. So it doesn't get easier on any level, and you're already here. You're already tight for both teams. Yeah. Anything but 3 points is going to feel like an opportunity missed.
Exactly, and you talked about it. That September for both teams is going to be extremely difficult, but if you're Red Bull 2 right now, it's just a matter of getting points, and if you can get a clean sheet too, even better. When you haven't won since July 7th, so it's close to 2 months now, you'll take the wins wherever you can get them, but you can also combine that with a clean sheet. Not too shabby.
You mentioned how important September is. New York Red Bulls 2 will play 8 matches in the month of September. And so if they can get winning now, there's an opportunity to start to throw points up on the standings for this New York Red Bull 2 side. Of course, that Charleston game, that San Antonio game, both of them were rescheduled into the month of September when they were postponed. And then on the flip side, as we said, for Hartford Athletic, the Murderers Row coming up, Louisville in 3 days, then Charlotte, Real Monarchs, Loudoun, Tampa, Charlotte again, and then they travel out to Isto Park and New Mexico United out west.
I think you mentioned that this second half is going to be chaos. I'm hoping a little controlled chaos.
Okay.
But I got a strange feel. I'm with you 100%. You just get the feeling the way this kind of game is kind of going that it's really going to open itself up, and it should be really entertaining.
It feels like enough of the players on the field, because of the regional rivalry, know each other.
Yeah.
But that chaos normally heads towards out of control than in control. We already saw Raffanello and Justin Hack jawing at each other in this first half. Let's see what the second half has in store. So losing the ball. Raffanello now out wide for Michael Knapp. Knapp getting his second straight start at right back. He's been under pressure throughout this game. Ball finds LaCava's feet. Back now to Zayats. And Zayats and Raffanello with the miscommunication. Well, you can hear how the Hartford Athletic fans themselves have termed themselves the Garage Gang, back in the parking garage behind one goal with the drums and the Rampage on the other side. And
I can see it, yeah.
We just watched something like 150 kids from the
the
RDS
chaos,
Academy run around the field. So the atmosphere is here for it. We have said it a few times as well. The weather is perfect setting we've had for a game probably this year.
Yeah.
As Sam Williams will pick up the first yellow card of the game. Sam Williams getting outworked by the veteran that is Justin Hack. Hack, a whole 19 years old to Williams, is 16 years old. And free kick coming now. Hartford starting to push some bodies forward, and Hack will keep it short for Janjigian.
Can't decide on what I prefer most about Hack, his age or his hair.
It's a smooth look. Yeah.
It's glorious.
It is a smooth look. Justin Hack came through NYCFC's first academy setup alongside players like Gio Reyna, who we've seen do some pretty good things in his short career so far, and could be one of those guys out there for the U.S. men's national team tomorrow.
You got big plans watching the game?
Yeah, I'm just going to watch the game. I don't know. That's a big plan by
big
itself.
You just hanging out by yourself watching the game?
If you would like, you can listen to a pregame show I'll do on Twitter Spaces.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah,
You're
alongside
welcome,
Matt
buddy.
Doyle, or a postgame show on MLSsoccer.com.
I knew something was brewing for you.
Listen, I'm not always self-promoting.
Yeah, that's okay. I promoted you.
I appreciate that,
I knew what I was walking into there.
I appreciate that.
I'm taking a bunch of 11-year-old boys to a tavern, probably outside, to watch the game, so we're excited.
Shot blocked away. Not the most exciting game the first time out against El Salvador, as most people will tell you, but Omar Sow bringing the excitement to this one. In a foot race now, pulls it back in, brings it to his left foot, and the shot saved.
Well, I think I like the way Sow contained himself in terms of trying to create an opportunity, but Marathon, again.
No, not a save.
That near post.
It's a goal.
Oh.
It was a goal kick.
Oh.
So I was wrong.
Well, he covered that near post, and that's exactly what you're going to do. Speaking of that 11-year-old, one of those kids are a keeper, and I keep on telling him, your job first and foremost is just cover that near post.
And Steve Jolly's not talking about the RDS kids here. He's talking about his own
kids. Yeah, my own kids. Sorry about that one.
You let your kid play in goal?
No chance he'll ever play goal. Those kids are crazy. Those those goalies. You never. No, he's a number 6, so I tell him, hey, do what Tyler Adams does.
Yeah.
It's real simple.
It's so easy. Just be the best counter-pressing player on the planet.
Yeah. Just run around.
Yeah.
Be really good at just about everything at soccer.
Right.
And then you'll be fine. It's that easy.
It is amazing to think back. He made his debut. He was the first New York Red Bull 2 signing in history for this club as a 15-year-old. Won a championship in his second year in 2016. As that long shot comes in, playing alongside incredible players. Speedy Williams, who's gone on to win multiple USL championship. Vincent Bezecourt, Florian Vallot. An incredible group of players. But Tyler Adams, you could see it with him.
Without question.
And everything you hear now about him as a leader and his mentality, that's been brewing since he was 14.
I mean, mature beyond his age, right? I mean, we've seen it so much, and we're both fortunate to be around this game for as much as we've had, and we've seen him and dealt with him, and he's already has a great career, but he's got a bright future as well, and I think that captain band fits him well long term.
Second youngest captain in U.S. men's national history against El Salvador. One of the things we talked about the pathway that USL has created.
Yeah.
You mentioned when you got out of college and got to the Galaxy about, as you see, we talked about there'll be a little bit of energy in this
we
one.
knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time.
But you talked about shifting positions at that age.
Yeah.
Tyler shifted positions at 16, and that's what this setup, I think, one of the things it does is so many Americans, their story was, I was a 10 in college, and then I became a right back, but you had to learn that at 25. And now you can do that at 16 and have all those years to perfect it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that, so I started in the league in '97, so, I've been around, to say the least, and where this league and USL and the infrastructure of soccer, where it is today compared to where it was there back then, it's just night and day. And what you're seeing is the fruits of the labor. And what we're seeing is the success that this men's national team has had, and those are successes that, we're all able to embrace. USL, Major League Soccer, every level because of what we've created in terms of the infrastructure. And that's the reason why we have a very, very bright future relative to men's soccer in this country, and more importantly, it gives these so many people just incredible avenues to kind of relive their dream here and just enjoy the experience of playing soccer at the next level, and it's just absolutely wonderful to see.
That long ball from Luca Lewis, one of those players using this avenue, was over in Italy with Torino's academy. Decided it wasn't working out, came back to his native New York area, and now he gets a chance to play pro soccer day in and day out. He started the last 4 games here at just 19 years old. For a goalkeeper, that's precious game time. And you just don't see a lot of times.
Yeah.
As Barrera, the other end of the spectrum, just north of 30, pinging dimes still in central midfield. Rogers one-on-one. Cortez in a battle with him. And Rogers called for the foul.
I have not heard that in a good decade. I appreciate that.
You think that's an old phrase?
I haven't heard that in a long, long time.
Okay. I'm glad I could bring you back a little.
That got me there.
Did it feel like we both just grew hair? Is that how far back we went?
we went old school for a second there. Pinging dimes.
In honor of Danny Barrera, as that foul drawn. Tabor Tataka shown the first yellow card of the game for Hartford Athletics, so 1 yellow card apiece to either side. No subs in the first half. It looks like Hartford is getting ready to bring on their first 2 subs for Harry Watling's side. And as I said, he's got a ton of options on the bench. Bradford Jamison, the 4th, available for the first time in about a month off the bench for his side. Connor McGlynn, who of course scored that unbelievable half-field shot against New York Red Bulls 2 in that 7-0 win, on the bench as well. And then a couple good young players that they're excited about in Keenan Hott, Alfonso Vasquez, and former Red Bull Academy player Jessiel Cedeno. Don Wolonek, as usual, being calm and composed on the sideline.
I love seeing him getting fired up. I love seeing it. He takes that demeanor with the hands behind his back, is nice and calm, and then he gets fired up every once in a while.
Kenneth Rojas, our head official, taking the brunt of that one. So 2 young players coming on. Former New York Red Bull 2 player Keenan Hott will check on in central midfield, and Alfonso Vasquez will come on at center forward in place of Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. A quiet game, maybe you could say, for Obregon Jr. He was dangerous, but most of the attacks come from those 2 wingers.
Yeah, he had that, what was that one header back to the post that he was involved in, but didn't you mention Obregon was the Honduras player that knocked us out from the Olympics?
He scored the first goal in the 2-1 loss, so yeah, he did a pretty big part of that.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk. Don't want to even bring up his name right now.
Who cares about the Olympics? Those kids won a Nations League final 3 months later.
I know. I can't move on.
The future is bright.
I take grudges.
Yeah, just not in the Olympics. Hey, I think everyone at LIH has a bunch of grudges against the U.S. men's national team that they can carry out as well. But Juan Carlos Obregon Jr., part of the next generation coming through for the Honduras national team, and a bright part of the USL Championship. Keenan Hott here on the ball. Clipped over the top. And he's going to want to show well here as the flag goes up for him. As an academy player, New York Red Bulls Academy for 2 years, got the opportunity to play with New York Red Bull 2. Maybe felt he was ready for that MLS spot, didn't come, decided not to go to Duke as expected, has sort of trialed around the world, and now playing on an academy contract with this Hartford Athletics side after spending the summer playing for his cousin, Sachi Hott, right here with FC Motown.
Wow, he brought it all full circle there. Good job, buddy.
It's easy. When the Hots are involved,
yeah.
Sachi's probably lurking somewhere here.
Yeah.
When the Hots are involved, it's not too hard to bring it back around.
Yeah, you just reached in your pocket and found some good stories there.
Sachi Hott, 4th homegrown in New York Red Bulls history. 4th homegrown signing in New York Red Bulls history. I think he played with guys like Thierry Henry and,
Never heard of that guy.
Yeah. Did not come through the USL Championship setup, but did okay through Monaco and Juventus. Pressure here for New York Red Bulls too.
Game's getting a little erratic right now. I'd like to see one of the teams, and you can see Ferrari does a great job just kind of settling the ball down.
Who does erratic play into favor for more of these two teams?
I still think, you know, Hartford is going to have like 3 or 4 legitimate opportunities this half. You know, I think
Rogers' ball played in. This could be one of them headed over the top.
Yeah, I just think that this Red Bull 2 team is kind of living and dying by the like the traditional counter, and you know, so an opportunity will come, but you're going to get so spread out that it's going to more often than not, it comes back to bite you a little bit.
Well, if you can't watch the match normally, you can tune into Sirius XMFC channel 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio. This one's taken short. Barrera will play it in. Cleared away. Chaotic for New York Red Bulls too, and they finally get it clear. Sirius XM FC channel 157 featuring big names like Tony Mayola, Ray Hudson, Rodney Marsh in USL All Access with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday on Sirius XM FC channel 157.
No love for us next Saturday. Matt Harmon and I didn't even bring that out. I'll do some self-promoting if I have to.
Hey, Steve, when can people listen to you on Sirius XM FC channel 157?
Next Saturday night, September 11th game. It's an important game, DC United. Let's go.
A rivalry game as
Big
well.
Rivalry game. For September 11th, they're doing a lot of things around that, the 20-year anniversary of that fateful day.
And if you want to talk about youth development, Moses Nyman, Kevin Paredes, Griffin Yao, former Loudoun United guys, Caden Clark, John Tolkien, Wiki Carmona, former New York Red Bull 2 guys. Those are two of the clubs that have done it right in the past. Andy Nahar, Bill Hamid, as well as, of course, Matt Miazga and Tyler Adams, some of the best homegrown develops in the league's history. And then, of course, what Loudoun and New York Red Bulls 2 have done in their short time in USL Championship as well has been impressive. LaCava. Miscommunication with Jorgensen. Ball laid off for Raffanello in stride. He's got runners inside of him looking for So. His touch is long and into the hands of Maracio.
And this is exactly what we kind of alluded to, that traditional kind of counterattack that this Red Bull team is going to be dangerous. Anytime you got Jake LaCava and So up top, you know, they're going to be dangerous. It's just my concern is the spacing now. And Hartford's got to just be a little bit better in terms of maintaining possession, and the opportunities will come if they do maintain possession. And that's where they've struggled here in the first couple minutes of the second half.
Dangerous moment here for Hartford Athletic, as Steve Jolly said. Itaka pulls it back. Tombo reads it. Plays it into the feet of Cortez.
Tombo, I think, tonight has done a really, really good job defensively in terms of not just coming up and making some good tackles, but his presence in the back, and he stepped in and found really important lines to kind of, you know, make sure that he was there and was able to kind of break up some passes, and he's just done a really, really good job here tonight defensively, Tombo.
He is 6'4",
and he looks all of 6'4" too when you're standing next to him.
But he moves like he's 5'10".
True.
You're upset about that.
Yeah, I can't.
Some are gifted.
Yes,
some are fully gifted.
I could have had another 4 or 5 years if I had those that height.
Just 20 years old,
Good
Tombul, former Turkish youth, or is a Turkish youth international, has played in Portugal, in Switzerland, his native Turkey, and now here in the U.S. as Serge Goma will come on the field in place of Matthias Jorgensen. And Serge Goma, he just 16 years old, starting to come on strong, a goal and an assist in the previous homestand for New York Red Bulls 2. A good like-for-like change for Matthias Jorgensen. Ataka lays it off. Vasquez now, just off the bench. The all-time leading scorer in Connecticut high school soccer history. Alfonso Vasquez, and as we've talked about, the new pipeline that exists, able to go straight from high school into the pro game in his native Connecticut. So after almost 2 years away, chance to watch Matthias Jorgensen for 60 minutes. What did you make of, and over the last 5 games, what have you made of what we've seen from him?
When you think of that one touch he had, you see, maybe that might be the perfect example of what I'm talking about in terms of his career here in New York for Red Bull and Red Bull 2, is that you saw the touch, so you see the ability there, but he's not finishing it off,
right,
and not taking it to the next level, and that's where he's kind of struggled. He had some opportunities, and just, doesn't put it back in the way, put it back in the net, and that's what's kind of cost him in that situation.
So Jorgensen's night, he's done 1 goal so far in his return to USL Championship play. Ataka and Castillo in a battle. The flag goes up, and it'll be a foul in favor of Hartford Athletic.
And you would think Barrera with that in-swinger is going to be a good opportunity here. This is probably a more threatening opportunity for him, other than that one he had at the end of the first half in terms of being able to take a shot. Always so difficult to defend in-swingers. So difficult.
Him on his left foot, as you said. Standing over this one, Rogers next to him, and it's near Red Bull 2 wall. About 4 yards away to start, and that'll be moved back. Barrera to serve it in. Floated to the far post, headed down. Top of the box, chance here for Hack. Pulls his shot into the body of Knapp. Torres floats it to the far post. Intercepted by LaCava. LaCava trying to counter on his own. Off and running, plays it into the path of Goma, and the goalkeeper makes the play. Omar Sow now trying to follow it up for New York Red Bulls 2. Dips by a few defenders, and his shot is blocked. What a big moment there from Carlos Marancillo, the 22-year-old Mexican goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's down now. Coming off his line and doing a great job, Marancillo. Stopping that opportunity there for Red Bull. Looks like he's going to be okay. But that's what we're talking about in terms of chaos of the second half. Goma comes out, but Marancillo coming off his line and making an absolutely huge save for this Hartford team.
And for LaCava, we had the angle on that. It looked like he had weighted it almost perfectly. Past the defender, but before the goalkeeper, but a good read for Marancillo.
You and I have talked about this, when we've done games together. One of the things I really like about Jake's game is that there's very few American players that have absolutely no fear running forward, and he's one of them. And I think that's the reason why he's got to this level, is that, he's just one of those guys that I enjoy when we produce players like him that have absolutely no fear. They put their head down and they just run at defenders because it's so hard to defend. And they just, like we're talking about, creating chaos. And, he just does a really good job in terms of his strengths and kind of accenting those strengths.
A New York native, but spent a lot of time in the Barcelona USA Academy with Sean McCaffrey, who's sitting right in front of us. It's only an academy that's produced players like Caden Clark and Matthew Hoppe and Julian Araujo and Jake LaCava. So that structure helped him, I think, reach that level. And you mentioned few American players. I don't know that I've seen players that can run at pace with the ball as fast as they can run without it, like he does.
I mean, Pulisic, Michael Grella is probably a good example.
And maybe Matthew Hoppe, and that's about it. As now LaCava's shot is blocked, and Justin Hack taking the brunt, and you could hear the power on that shot. He's now down holding his stomach after that last injury
that hurts.
break.
You see here, he was right there.
Oh, 4 or 5 yards away.
Ugh. That'll take some time to get the win back.
So now, as we had a chaotic, energetic first 20 minutes, a few lulls here with these injuries. How do these teams react to this? We've seen now 2 changes for Coach Harry Watling, and as we said, they had, because of the postponed game, a little bit of a layoff. So he has the ability to sort of play here, even though Louisville's coming up in 3 games.
Yeah.
But clearly he saw Auberjohn Jr. maybe not being as effective as he has been. Brought in Vasquez and then Keenan Hott in midfield to try and control things a little bit more.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's making these substitutions to kind of go after the game. And if I'm just the opposite on the other side, well, I think I love the Goma substitution, but I'm at the point now where I'm getting close to the 70-minute mark. I might be looking for somebody that kind of solidifies that midfield for me and kind of slows things down a little bit.
And the answer to that would be Daniel Edelman.
But
he's on the sideline. This is only the second game he hasn't started all year. We're unsure how healthy he is to play. There was a conversation that the Red Bull 2 coaching staff was having with him through warm-ups.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a moving target there, but what an ideal candidate that would be to bring off the bench for them. Austin Brummett as well. An option off the bench in midfield as Goma once again in a foot race. And this time no contact as Marancio is able to get there early.
I think he's still struggling a little bit coming off the line a couple minutes ago. Might see a substitution here.
So it'd be unfortunate for him. This is his first start of the year, his first start in USL Championship. Of course, for Hartford, that means Jeff Caldwell's on the bench, who's one of the most experienced, best goalkeepers in USL. And so it doesn't hurt them too bad in terms of the flow of this game, but upsetting to see for this young man getting his opportunity here today.
Yeah, and he's done a good job. I mean, you can't really blame him at all at that first goal, but he's come up big with a couple good saves, and he's done everything he needed to do tonight. And it's unfortunate that he's most likely going to be taken out now because of an injury from a play that he did an exceptional job on in terms of coming off his line and breaking that counterattack up.
Well, if you love soccer, you can be for the W. Starting next spring, the USL W League, providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer, both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to USLWleague.com to learn more. As you see the energy and the crowd here for a hometown kid as Jeff Caldwell comes on, as does Jesiel Cedeno, Ecuadorian-born, New York native, former Red Bull 2 player, former New York Red Bull Academy player, and U23 player. And an opportunity to come back out here on the field in front of his friends and family. And you got to be excited for a young man in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, you'll just love seeing it. And you can hear the fans that he has here tonight to watch him play. Excited as well. But again, you can see this is a Hartford team, and I absolutely love this play, is that they're going for this game. They know there's going to be some opportunities, and they want to get a result out of this one.
So Cedeno coming on for Tabor Itaka, like for like. On the left-sided attacking players. Physicality here. Goma comes away with the ball. Back to the feet of Williams. Two 16-year-olds linking up. Finally, that pass is intercepted. Barrera into the path of Dodson. Dodson goes down in front of Knapp. No foul coming, says Kenneth Rojas.
And here we go down to the right-hand side. Raffanello.
Pickup game is on here at MSU Soccer Park. So for Tabor Itaka, a frustrating night in the end. He showed his quality. He showed many of the things he does well. He would have loved to have walked away with a goal.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you look at the night and you look at the first 10 or 15 minutes, and this would have been a completely and utterly different game if he at least put even one away. He actually had 3 of them that he were really legitimate opportunities.
And so can't link up with Goma.
There's a lot of discussion there on that Red Bull 2 bench in terms of substitutions. Wouldn't be surprised if we might see 2 more here.
It looks like Edelman might be talking to the coaching staff. Fingers crossed for New York Red Bull 2 fans that he is fit for a couple minutes here. He's the team leader in minutes, in starts, in appearances, really everything. He has been captain for large stretches of this season with Kyle Zayats out with that injury. He is one of the brightest prospects in the region, coming out of the PDA Academy, where his brother went to a national championship this year in MLS Next. Omar So's brother on that team as well. A family affair. We will see.
There we go.
It'll be Edelman and Brummett. 2 options.
We were discussing midfield options. You went with the or. You didn't think about the and.
No, I'm not as creative. That's why John's on that side and I'm on this side.
That's exactly right. You and me both.
So Sam Williams, his night finished here. Looks like our second substitute coming off will be Jake LaCava, the goal-scoring hero in the 12th minute right now. It's the game winner, his 5th of the season. And I think overall, a positive performance for Jake.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you score a goal when you're a forward, that's what it's all about. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you can have some bad games, but you can get a goal, and that's all that really matters. That's all you're going to remember. That's the inherent beauty of being a forward, right? It's no different than a goalie. You know,
So
you do, you might have a blinder some way or the other, but if you didn't give up a goal and you have a clean sheet, that's what it's all about.
So you'd assume two like-for-like subs. Brummett will play alongside Raffanello in place of LaCava. And then Daniel Edelman stepping into central midfield immediately, pressing high up the field in place of Sam Williams. What did you make of the 16-year-old Sam Williams, just his 5th career professional soccer game?
Yeah, it's tough because, as I mentioned, there really wasn't much midfield play for this Red Bull team. And he didn't really kind of find the ball, as much as I'd probably like. But, I mean, how much can you expect for a 16-year-old,
Yeah.
like trying to learn the system and more importantly, be mature enough to know kind of where you need to be to pick up the ball, to get yourself engaged in the game. I mean, we see it at Red Bull. Wiki Carmona, here's a player that has all the talent in the world that just hasn't been finding the game because he doesn't understand the spaces yet. He's not mature enough to understand the system. And with Williams, he's obviously a very talented player. Just unfortunately for him, he just didn't really find the game.
Austin Brummett in a similar situation as well, trying to fit into the Red Bull system after coming over from the Tacoma Defiance and Seattle Sounders out west, but he started to have some success and assist just a couple weeks ago for this USL Championship side as Casillo now wins it back for New York Red Bulls 2. Ball over the top, Caldwell, his first touch in the game. And shout out to Harry Watling and his coaching staff to recognize, by the way, the moment in which you're forced into a goalkeeper change rather than burn that moment where you couldn't make another change, as Dotson now is in on goal and tackled away by Tombul. They were able to get Cedeno in quickly so that they got both those subs in the same moment, and they were able to get more players on the field.
Yeah.
This is a new world.
Yeah,
you got to take advantage of your moments.
You do.
As well as your subs, as Dotson there has been dangerous all game. And
he has been dangerous on that left side, but I think that's another example of Tombul stepping up and doing his role defensively, and I think he's just had a really solid game here tonight.
Hack and Rogers. Rogers steps on it, brings it into his left foot, and curls it over the crossbar, but a deflection will take it out for a corner kick.
You can start seeing the urgency here with Hartford. They know they've only got 15 minutes or so left in this game, and they're going to want to try to equalize this one.
They could have had 2 or 3 in the opening 10 minutes, and now they are sitting on a donut here in the 75th, trying to equalize. Good creativity along the end line by Rogers. There'll be another corner kick opportunity. You can see right behind Rogers, the Red Bull 2 subs warming up, and that is Curtis Ofori, who finally, after 4 months out with injury, made his reemergence against Pittsburgh as that one's headed away. And that one is skied over everyone. So we've seen Harry Watling now sort of play his hand here.
Yeah.
15 minutes still, plenty of time for it to work. Brought a little bit more direct attack, I think, onto the field as you see Hott with the high press win it back. Battle between him and Knapp, and Barrera now comes away with it. Keenan Hott, one of those players, drilled in the Red Bull pressing style. And Edelman showing he's at least fully fit when he's out there on the field. Big switch now. Space for Cedeno. Cedeno can't find a teammate.
And just, it's like example after example. There's so much talent on this Hartford team, and they just have to be sharper in that final third, was finishing their last pass, and it's just, you can see that the ability is there. It's just, they're just not sharp. They just are making some kind of mental errors a little bit in terms of connecting these passes and finishing off their opportunities, or this would be a completely different game than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's felt like time and time again, it's the right cross. It's the right ball into a channel to find an attacking player, and then that last bit that they just can't connect on. And John Wolyniec said before the game to us, when I mentioned that they are the only team in the USL Championship without a shutout this season, that at some point you have to luck into one, you'd expect. Tonight might be that night.
Take them when you can get them, right?
Brummett goes down there, and we will see. 12 minutes to go. Hartford, we know how dangerous they can be. This man can be dangerous. Bradford Jamison the fourth. LA Galaxy homegrown U.S. international. His first appearance now in almost a full month off with injuries. Coach Watling thought he would be a centerpiece of this attack this year. Still working his way back from injury, though, but you know the quality he can bring on the field. Chance on the break now. That one a little too far for Goma. Caldwell rolls that one out. And here's Bradford Jamison, the fourth, first touch off the bench, and he's inches wide. Introduction by fire for Bradford Jamison the fourth. And that's what you talked about, Steve. The chances are there.
The chances are there, but what an absolutely incredible ball here by Rogers. And Jamison just needs to be a little bit sharper and find that near post, but you can see how dangerous he is. But all the credit to Rogers with that pass.
It's so tough to come off the bench and have your first touch be the one that could set you up for a goal. And as I mentioned, hasn't played since August 14th. Bradford Jamison, the fourth, only 11th appearance this year. Down to a couple injuries. Goma puts some light pressure on there. Goma here with the press. Winning the ball back, and Rogers overtakes it. Caldwell puts it out for a throw-in. Thought maybe there'd be a yellow card coming there for the pull of the jersey on Lara, but Kenneth Rojas has us play on. Knapp's pass only to the feet of Gabby Torres. Hot up the line for Vasquez. Vasquez trying to turn Tom Bull. Vasquez can't break through. The help was coming from the captain. Zayat's up the line for Raffanello. 3-on-3 here. Raffanello to So. He's got another runner coming in, Brummett. Brummett with the left foot shot over the crossbar.
Well, a lot of positives there by this Red Bull team on the right-hand side. Building it out, being patient with it. They initially, Raffanello finds So, and then Brummett. Like to see Brummett do a little bit better job with that left-footed shot, but overall, good little counterattack there for this Red Bull 2 team.
The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. Ball turned back over, and Daniel Edelman trying to get out on the break, and the offside flag goes up on him.
Well, he's done a great job stepping in that center midfield spot. He's broken up a couple opportunities there for Hartford Athletic.
He's come a long way, and just about a year of professional soccer under his belt. Cedeno now down the side, and Zayats puts it out off of Cedeno. And for a goal kick is his family just off to our right here. You saw the Ecuador flag when he came on the field, and for him, Keenan Hott as well. What a better chance to sort of show what you can do than against the team that you feel like didn't believe in you and didn't have the vision for your career.
No, without question. That's kind of whatever motivates you, gets you going for a game. That's probably the biggest one.
Vasquez with the shot. And it goes just wide off the mistake from Tom Bull. I think Kyle Zayats here after that, waving everyone forward. Put this goal kick long.
Yeah, you want to put this as long as possible, get it out of trouble, and try to kill off as much time as possible here in the 84th, almost 85th minute. This is where you kind of come together as a team if you're Red Bull 2, and you just recognize that, you know, it doesn't matter how ugly it is. You take it and you move on with it, and you fight and battle for those next 5 or so minutes and try to get 3 points.
It has been 7 games, almost 2 months of action without a victory. It's been a year without a clean sheet. New York Red Bulls 2 are sitting on the verge of both of them here at home against their tri-state area rival Hartford Athletic. They haven't beaten Hartford as well in about 2 years since Hartford's inaugural season in USL. So a lot of firsts potentially coming, but with that Bradford Jameson, the 4th chance, there's a lot of opportunity still short in this short game left for this Hartford side, as Jeff Caldwell now the backup goalkeeper in this game. Off the bench, stretching a little bit.
Huh. Don't see 2 keepers go down much in a game.
You also don't see a 3rd keeper on the roster.
I know. That's where it's going to get
for
really interesting.
As Harry Walling now asks who's got the best hands on the team, and Jeff Caldwell now being worked on by the trainer a little bit. You see the crowd. It's been a great atmosphere for this one, as we said. Hartford Athletic bring incredible fan base every time they've played down here. Even last year when COVID restricted access to the stadium, they were able to set themselves up, as now they call themselves the Garage Gang, in the parking garage behind the goal. And it turns out if you've got a roof above you and you play a bunch of drums, then it's really loud coming out of that thing. And they've been so much fun to have, of course. The Mad Hatters out of Hartford, and then the Rampage as well, the supporters section for New York Red Bulls 2. I said it's been 2 months without a win. It was a 4-game home streak that they weren't able to get a victory in. These fans have stuck with them, and they're hoping that tonight's the night.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, you know, kudos to the environment that, you know, it's not always easy to get a big group together as loud and rowdy as this one on a Labor Day weekend. But, you know, it's been a great environment, and we were very fortunate with the weather, and the game has had a little bit of everything here tonight. Looks like Caldwell's up. So, I mean, Hartford Athletic still has roughly 5 minutes, and there's going to be some injury time. You know that. Extra time.
See if Caldwell has a leg in them. He's able to put it long after being down with that injury. Carlos Marancillo getting his first career USL Championship start in goal today, out with an injury. Caldwell pulled off the bench about 10-plus minutes ago in place of him. Brummett over to defend Rogers. And puts it out.
That used to be a really good play until they started putting the ball stands.
Did you see what happened last night, though?
Yeah, I did.
With Henry Kessler? Were you at that game in Philly?
I was not at the game, but
you would have had to make a note for Paul Grafer. You would have had to say.
I was going to say, our guy Paul Grafer definitely got noted on that one in terms of the league office, and it's going to be a hefty fine for the young guy.
Listen, you can't disrespect a Paul stand. Everyone knows that.
Everybody knows that. Those ex-UVA guys have never had much respect for anyway. Whatever they give him, he deserves it.
Kyle Zients the ball up the line. Henry Kessler alongside Daryl Dike in college lost to Derek Dodson's Georgetown. The national championship final, two of the best production programs.
2 years ago?
Yeah,
two years ago.
2019.
Yeah. You know, a guy from that team, Foster McCune.
There you go.
Who knew? Small world.
Yeah. Soccer world, smaller and smaller.
Foster's in the golf world now. That's how I know.
Okay.
Crazy world.
That ball goes out, and substitution coming here. And Curtis Afori will get his second appearance in a week after having to wait about 5 months in between USL Championship appearances. And so a huge moment as the Afori family sitting just in front of us, cheering on the 15-year-old.
It just gets
Curtis Afori.
It's crazy. Absolutely amazing.
So a big prospect at left back. So we'll see what this does for New York Red Bulls 2 shape. It looks like JC Cortez is going to push up into midfield in place of Raffanello. And Afori's going to go in at that left back spot. I think John Wolenek just excited he's able to make substitutions. And Omar Sow went out hurt in the previous game. New York Red Bulls 2 had a moment and they had subs, but all of them were goalkeepers. And so Omar Sow, it meant that New York Red Bulls 2 had to play man down the last 10 minutes.
I was going to say for a while, right?
For about 10, 15 minutes. And they were able to score a goal. Down a man, Serge Goma. Getting it done for New York Red Bulls 2, but they're not able to claw over that line, which has been the story here over the course of the 2021 season of this 7-game losing streak. 5 of them have been by 1 goal. New York Red Bulls 2 hold on today. Cortez stepping up and winning that one. The slide tackle as well.
And get the plow, yeah.
And he will get the free kick in his favor against his former academy teammate in Keenan Hott.
You can see how productive Coach Wolniak's substitutions have been in terms of him coming in and kind of solidifying that midfield.
Zayed sprays it wide to Brummett. Another one of those subs who's been active. So it'll be a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time coming here for the Hartford Athletic. They started the game super dangerous. Gave up a goal maybe against the run of play to Jake LaCava. Say they controlled large stretches of the end of that first half. But here in the second half, it's been end to end. You have to say either team's been equally dangerous.
It's you know, it's one of those games where it just like it seems like, you know, both teams are probably going to get another opportunity or two here in the last 5 minutes. It's also a
that's
game,
the one you count.
Yeah, I don't know if I count that one, but it's also a game I think for Hartford. They're going to look back if they cannot get this goal and tie it up. They're going to be frustrated with themselves because, you know, they haven't been sharp in the final third. They're, you know, obviously extremely talented team, and it's just going to be one of those games where you're just going to be going home and not happy with yourself in terms of how you performed for the 90 minutes.
And Ofori with a slide tackle, putting it out for a throw-in. Coming into this game, it had been 1 win and 5 for Hartford Athletic, but the messaging out of the group was, it's just been a couple of bad mistakes and results. We're fine. This is the type of game where you start to say, is something wrong? And can Serge Goma put the final nail in the coffin? The early shot, and it's in. The teenager in front of his academy teammates, and he may do it. New York Red Bulls 2 on the verge of breaking a 7-game losing streak.
I mean, take that visual in right there. Goma coming from the system, so coming right over to the system. For the pre-academy players, they're enjoying that moment. Those are kids that are going to be able to experience that for the rest of their lives. And what a fine, just technical finish. Just so calm to keep his head up and finish it off.
He just turned 16 years old, as you said it. He has come up from the U13s all the way through to New York Red Bulls 2, alongside the Harrison native Omar Sow.
Could you ask for a better storyline in terms of finishing this game for the Futures Night? Having all the pre-academy kids here in the stadium. Good for them.
This is what it's all about for the New York Red Bull family. And Serge Goma, it looks like, will send everyone home with a smile on their face from the New York Red Bull 2 side here at MSU Soccer Park. As Castillo now flies into the attack. Goma looking for maybe a second one. A shot blocked into the feet of Brummett.
And a good decision from Brummett to take it to the corner. Kill off another minute or so.
Serge Goma, his first career goal here at MSU Soccer Park 2 weeks ago against the Charleston Battery. As I said, late in that game, a game in which he had a goal and an assist as the offside flag finally goes up against Vasquez, and now he gets a goal off the bench in this one. And this is one of the things Coach Wolnick's talked about, just having players that Serge Goma at 16 doesn't have to go from the opening whistle. He can come off the bench against tired players and run at them because Matthias Jorgensen can fill that spot. And these were options that just haven't existed for this New York Red Bull 2 side over the course of this year.
Yeah, and this is, a game that they can really build on. They recognize that the first 10 or 15 minutes they got a little lucky, and that's okay. You got to get lucky sometimes to get out of a little bit of a rut. And for a team that hadn't won in almost 2 months, to be able to play against a team of this quality, Hartford Athletic, and to get a result, and not only get a result, but hopefully for them keep a clean sheet here in the next minute or two, would be an incredible positive for them moving forward as they've got a really busy September.
Vasquez into the box, past Tombul, pulls it back, and the clearance. And body's down in the box now. It's still alive. And it looks like Daniel Edelman was the one who came over and made the clearance. He immediately went down. He's back up behind the play, but limping now, holding his right leg. Cedeno was in an offside position, so he lets that one run. It goes out off Ofori. And Edelman barely moving now as Hack cuts through 2 defenders. And it's cleared away, and that's the final whistle. So the first win in 7 games for New York Red Bulls 2. The first victory over Hartford Athletic in 2 years, and the first clean sheet of the 2021 season comes here in early September as New York Red Bulls 2 finally able to break through. Yeah,
finally break through. They got a little lucky, and that's okay, and that's exactly what they want sometimes, is that they get the result, they get the 3 points, and they get the clean sheet. And a special night for a couple players, and it's good to see. A great environment and a great win here for Red Bull 2.
And a frustrating night for Hartford Athletic. We'll be back with our post-game coverage here in just a moment. Jake LaCava with the winner, and Serge Goma, the 16-year-old, putting the icing on the cake for New York Red Bulls 2 here at MSU Soccer Park.
Every year, the average person generates nearly 1 ton of waste, with more than 250 million tons of garbage being buried in U.S. landfills annually. At Covanta, we are working to change that and ensure no waste is ever wasted. We believe the materials discarded every day should be utilized to their fullest potential to preserve the world's valuable resources and generate clean energy for our communities and the world we live in. This is how Covanta is powering today and protecting tomorrow.
We did it again. Verizon has been named America's most reliable network by Root Metrics. And our customers rated us #1 for network quality in America, according to JD Power. #1 in reliability 16 times in a row. Most awarded for network quality 27 times in a row. Proving once again that nobody builds networks like Verizon. That's why we're building 5G right. That's why there's only one best network.
I'll give you something, make you shake it.
Futures Night at MSU Soccer Park, and the future is bright with that young man, Serge Goma, and many of these young Red Bull Academy players. And he put the exclamation point on this one. David Goss and Steve Jolly with you. And Steve, what a night and what a moment.
Yeah, you don't really need to say much. The visual says it all right there. A great little opportunity here where at the end of the game, it was just him and the goalkeeper, and he calmly put it in the back of the net and went straight to those pre-academy kids who now have a memory for the rest of their lives that I think is really special. Good to see. Celebrating with the kids right there.
New York Red Bulls too, building here. Their first victory in 7 games. They've got 8 games this month. Can they build off this and continue to roll along? Serge Goma, his 2nd goal in 2 weeks in his young professional career for the 16-year-old. For myself, David Goss, my partner, Steve Jolly, and everyone here, thanks so much for watching from MSU Soccer Park. New York Red Bulls 2, the 2-0 win over their tri-state rivals, Hartford Athletic. Hartford back on ESPN2 coming up on Wednesday. And for everyone else out there, have a great night, and thanks for joining us.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.